imagine a king, right? A leader whose armies just crushed everything in their path, a total conqueror. Now imagine that same king, after one single brutal war, just dropped his sword and decides, you know what? Kindness is my new weapon. That's the unbelievable, true story of Emperor Ashoka. And today we're going to dig into how he went from being a feared tyrant to a world-changing transformer.
Okay, so let's just lay it out. On one side, you've got Ashoka the Conqueror, a ruthless, brilliant military mind. And on the other, Ashoka the Philosopher, a messenger of peace. So the real question we're tackling here is, how on earth did one of history's most terrifying warriors become one of its greatest champions for nonviolence? That's the puzzle we're putting together.
To get how this massive shift happened, you first have to understand where he came from. Ashoka wasn't born with a halo. He was forged in the fire and blood of the mighty Mauryan Empire, a world where power was the only thing that mattered, and showing any weakness was basically a death sentence.
And you can see right here, ambition ran in the family. His grandfather, Chandragupta, started the whole thing. His dad, Bindusara, made it bigger. But Ashoka, he didn't just get handed the keys to the kingdom. Ancient stories say he seized the throne around 268 BCE after a vicious power struggle with his own brothers. So his crown was already stained with blood before his reign really even got started.
So with most of the map under his control, Ashoka had his eyes on one last prize, the kingdom of Kalinga. Now this wasn't just about bragging rights. Kalinga was rich, it was independent, and it controlled major sea trade routes. For Ashoka, taking it meant his empire would be complete. It was the final piece of the puzzle.
But his own advisors were nervous. They warned him, saying the people of Kalinga would fight with the ferocity of a cornered tiger. They weren't going to go down easy. But Ashoka, he was determined. And so, the stage was set for a conflict that would be absolutely devastating.
And that brings us to the moment that changed absolutely everything. The Battle of Kalinga, which went down around 261 BCE, wasn't just another victory lap for Ashoka. Oh no, it was the bloody, brutal climax of his ambition, and a turning point that would change his life and the world forever.
The scale of the destruction was it's hard to even comprehend. Just let this number sink in for a second. More than 100,000 people were killed in the fighting. This wasn't a battle, it was a slaughter. The fields of Kalinga were turned into one massive graveyard.
And believe it or not, the horror didn't stop with the dead. On top of that, more than 150,000 people were captured, forced into slavery, or driven from their homes with nothing. An entire society was just obliterated. The victory was total, but so was the devastation.
So here's the critical part. After the battle, Ashoka walked the fields of his victory. But what he saw didn't feel like a win. He saw the real cost, up close and personal. Mothers clutching their dead children, soldiers who were just hollowed out shells of men, homes filled with smoke and silence. He was staring into the face of the horror that he had created.
And this is where everything breaks for him. This quote perfectly captures it. Standing there, surrounded by death, his entire idea of what it meant to be a great king just shattered. He was haunted by this one single question. If my victory just means a world of pain for everyone else, what kind of king am I? This was the moment his transformation began.
So this incredible guilt, this remorse, it wasn't just a feeling, it became a policy. Ashoka completely renounced military conquest, what was called Digvijaya, or conquest by the sword. And in its place, he adopted a totally radical new idea, Dharma Vijaya, conquest by righteousness.
So what exactly is this Dharma we're talking about? Well, think of it less as a religion and more as a universal moral code, a rule book for being a good person. It's all based on these core ideas: kindness, nonviolence, telling the truth, being tolerant of other religions, and just respecting all living things. This became the new operating system for his entire empire.
And look, this wasn't just empty talk. He actually did stuff. He pushed for nonviolence, even limiting animal sacrifices in the royal court. He poured money into public works, building roads, digging wells, and setting up hospitals for both people and animals. And most importantly, he made sure everybody heard about this new way of doing things.
So how do you get your message out to millions of people without the internet? Well, you carve it into solid rock. And that's what he did. These edicts, carved on giant pillars and boulders, were placed all across his empire for everyone to see. It was this incredible form of mass communication, a public promise carved in stone for all time, from a king to his people. Basically, the ancient world's first big PR campaign for being a good government. Okay, so Ashoka completely changed things at home, but his influence didn't just stop at the borders of his empire. The ideas he was championing started to ripple outwards, creating an echo that, honestly, we can still hear today. He started exporting a philosophy instead of an army. He used all the resources of his empire to spread Buddhist ideas. He funded the building of incredible monasteries and monuments. And get this, tradition says he sent his own kids, his son and daughter, to Sri Lanka as missionaries. His support was a huge deal. It helped take Buddhism from being a local faith in India and put it on the world stage.
And what's really wild is that his legacy isn't just in dusty old history books. It's right there in plain sight today. Seriously, if you look at modern India, Ashoka is everywhere. The national emblem of India, it's the lion capital from the top of one of his pillars. That wheel in the center of the Indian flag? Yep, that's the Ashoka chakra, a symbol of moral law that comes directly from him.
Now, historians love a good debate, and Ashoka is a big one. Was this change of heart 100% genuine spiritual awakening? Or was it also a super smart political move? I mean, promoting a universal moral code is a pretty clever way to unite a huge, diverse empire without having to constantly fight wars. The real answer? It was probably a little bit of both, a profound personal change that also happened to be really good politics.
But you know, in the end, maybe the why isn't as important as the what. Because regardless of his exact motives, Ashoka is one of the rarest examples in history. A leader with absolute power who looked at his options and consciously chose a different path. He chose to use his incredible authority to spread compassion instead of fear.
And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. Ashoka built his power on a mountain of bodies, and then spent the rest of his life trying to make up for it through peace. So, can a legacy that begins with that much violence ever truly be redeemed? It's a heavy question, and one worth thinking about.